talking about example, like you said, you have to be the person. When you got cancer, the doctors told you that the diet wouldn't matter, and you pretty much devoted your life to figuring out the diet because you had a 20% chance of living. And then
Yeah.
also, I don't think a lot of people know about this as well. When you first released the book, I think in 2008, you sold about 5,000 copies through cold calling. And
Yeah.
not only that, you also have committed your life to obviously the Miracle Morning, which most people know you by. You are someone that is truly committed to things. There's no interest in it. And I think there's a big difference between being committed and being interested. What do you feel is what most people mistake? What's the biggest mistake that people make when it comes to really fully committing to themselves?
I think it's fear. And it's something that I wrote about in the Miracle Morning that I called Rearview mirror syndrome. And I thought I made the concept up, and then somebody commented, they're like, "You didn't make that up. Somebody else made." I'm like, oh, I wasn't trying to like take credit for somebody else's work. But anyway, Rearview mirror syndrome is what I define as like whenever we're presented with an opportunity or a challenge, big or small. It could be the opportunity to get out of bed in the morning when the alarm clock goes off. Or it could be a huge opportunity like, hey man, there's this, if you know, do you think, you can make $1 million or whatever? We check our rear view mirror in our subconscious and we're like, okay, wait, how do I normally respond? What's the evidence in my past that informs how I should respond now or informs what I'm capable of doing? Right. And so when I started selling Cutco, my rear view was like just pure mediocrity. I'm like, I've never been disciplined. I've never been committed to anything in my life. And again, I don't know if I think I might have said this already, but when I didn't put it this way. When I came to my mentor, Jesse, on the second day of training, I'm like, I want to break the all-time Cutco fast start record, Jesse. I think, why not? Why not me? And he's like, Hal, that's awesome. But he goes, I just want to challenge you. I hear that every week in training. I run training every week. We have 10 to 15, new sales reps that come through training. And he said, somebody always tells me they want to break the record. He said, I've been a manager for a few years now. Do you know how many people have broken the fast start record that said they wanted to do it? I said, no. He said, zero, none. Nobody's broken the record. I go, oh. He goes, you know why that is? I said, no. He said, because they haven't been committed. I go, okay. He said, if you want to break the record, I believe you can do it, but you have to be committed at a level you've never been committed before. We have to dedicate these 10 days. It's only 10 days of your life, but you've got to dedicate these 10 days to work from morning till night. This is your number one singular focus. You're not looking for balance during these 10 days. You're looking for a unwavering commitment to do everything in your power to break this record, which means you're doing something that no one in 49 years has been able to do. And when he's like, are you willing to be committed at that level? And James, I'll be honest, inside my rear view mirror syndrome, my voice of like, I'm like, hell no. Like now I'm scared, right? But I was embarrassed to say anything other than, yeah, totally. I'm committed, right? And so that's where I went from never committing to anything my entire life to being committed. But an important piece is it wasn't alone. If I didn't have Jesse, and this is where accountability comes into play, one of the most underrated keys to success is figuring out how to have someone or something hold you accountable. We will let ourselves off when nobody's looking. Rear view mirror syndrome wins most of the time. It's like, nobody's looking. I don't have to do the thing. I know I said I wanted it, but I don't feel like it now, so I'm not going to do it. But when you have somebody holding you accountable, when I had to call Jesse every morning because I gave him my word that I was going to do that, that's how I developed the ability to be committed. It was by making the initial commitment that in my body, in my soul, I didn't feel committed.
Yeah. I
just felt embarrassed to not follow through with what I said I was going to do to someone who I respected and didn't want to fall short of. Right. And that later that came with hiring a coach. I paid a coach to hold me accountable later in my life. But so, yeah, that's when that started, is being committed. And here's the deal. It wasn't like I broke the fast start record and then I'm like, now I can commit to everything. It was still like, I'm a relatively uncommitted person. And so I wasn't committed to a healthy diet. I didn't commit to exercise. Like that all came way later. It was like, okay, I committed to break the fast start record and I did it. Now, but I did it with the support of my mentor. I called him every single day, like 3-4 times a day. And I felt like giving up so many times. And I'd call him and go, dude, I didn't sell anything today, man. Like, there's no way I'm going to break this record. I'm embarrassed. Like, I feel like giving up. And he would say, Hal, you feel like giving up. That's normal. He said, let me ask you this. Do you want to be successful in life? And James, anybody listening to this, I would encourage you all to ask yourself this question. As rhetorical as it might sound, there's value here. He said, Hal, do you want to be successful in life, in general, whatever you end up doing in life? If it's not Cutco forever, that's fine. You want to be successful? I said, yes. He said, what do you think a successful person would do right now? Do you think they would give up because they feel like it and they're discouraged and they had a setback? Or would they follow through with their commitment until the end, no matter what, no other option? And of course, I was like, well, yeah, I mean, I guess they'd follow through. He goes, okay, so what are you going to do? Mm-hmm. Damn it, okay, I'm going to follow through, right? Like, I'm going to get on the phone and make more calls, right? And it's really that simple. But here's the thing is, we have to commit. Then we have to have someone holding us accountable. And by the way, the accountability could be literally, you could call a friend and go, hey, I'm making this commitment, and every day I don't follow through, I'm going to check in with you every day. So you have to initiate the accountability. Don't wait for somebody to show up in your life. You have to take ownership and responsibility to initiate the accountability. And when you do, you say, okay, you call a friend and you go, hey, I'm going to give you $10 every day that I don't do this. Okay. I'm going to text you every day by 9 a.m. And then, like, literally write up a contract. And you could print it on your computer, super simple, that says, hey, I'm committed to calling James every day by 10 a.m. or texting him with letting him know that I made, X number of calls or did X number of push-ups or wrote for an hour or whatever your commitment is. And for every day that I don't follow through, I will pay him $10. Mm-hmm. And then I would go a little further just to hold yourself really accountable. I go, and I commit to maintaining 100% integrity and never lying about what I did or didn't do, right? Because we're all kids in older bodies, right? And very often, even somebody with morals will lie, not because they're a bad person, but because the little scared kid is coming out and goes, oh man, I don't want to look stupid and him think I didn't follow through when I said I would, or, oh man, I can't afford to pay him $10, and then we lie. So make sure that in that little handwritten contract or that you type on the computer, where you're establishing accountability with someone in your life who you care about and who cares about you, right? And put something at stake. That's, again, if you don't have a Jesse in your life that'll hold you accountable, it's your responsibility to initiate accountability with another person. I don't know where I was going with that, but hopefully that's been helpful.